One of the common questions I get is how does someone with a phys ed degree and taught art for 9 years in high school end up running the largest cyber school in Saskatchewan? What had ended up happening is I was given a grant by the provincial government to create an online art gallery. So what I did is I learned HTML by reverse engineering HTML pages. So I got a web page, I looked at the source, and I figured out how they actually made web pages. And then I created the first online art gallery in Saskatchewan. With this experience of being able to build web pages, I was getting known as someone who knew something about computers, and it became a hobby of mine, and I was very interested, so I started to learn more and more. And the school at the time asked if I would be willing to teach some grade 9s information processing during lunch hour, which I said I don't have a problem doing that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So then they asked if I would be willing to teach a grade 10 information processing class. I said that was fine, and I started to set up that course. As I was teaching that course, and I put all my notes onto overheads, and the students would come in and they would sit down and they would start to write down the notes. When they're finished that, they could turn on their computers and then start the assignments for the day. What ended up happening is a burnt out overhead projector was what was responsible for myself trying out web pages for teaching online courses. So what I did is I had a burnt out overhead projector, and I decided that I would, because I knew how to make web pages, I'd put the notes right onto the computers. So I put the notes onto the computer, and the students came in and started to write down the notes right from their computers. And after a little while, I thought the note taking was just a waste of energy and wasn't a worthwhile exercise, so I said the notes are there, how about if we try putting the assignments on? So then I created the assignments, and after a little while I created the tests, and after about one semester I had a complete information processing course online. My principal at the time was very excited about this and asked if it was possible for some students to take the course from a distance, not within the class. So I would have 24 students in my class and a certain number of students who would then take the class from the library or from their home computer or wherever they wished. So then this was the first online distance course taught in our division. So once this was being taught, then they asked me if I would be willing to explore the option of doing that in other subjects. So I went and did a little bit of research and did a proposal that it was possible if this is the way we approached it. And after a little bit of red tape and a little bit of decision making, they decided that let's try the online high school. They put me in charge of it, and 8 years later we're now teaching approximately 3,500 students a semester online. That is the birth of the Saskatoon Catholic Cyber School, and how someone with a phys ed degree and an art background ended up being the project leader and assistant principal and an administrator for the Saskatoon Catholic Cyber School.